So let us understand the world that we live in. Like, seriously, understand the world that we live in. And look at movies and stories, whether it's like political stuff where it's all propaganda feeding you one reality, or it's fantasy giving you a different reality, as far as phenotypical characteristics and a different terrain, or it's the horror movies that give you another reality. And they're all different simulations, and everyone chooses to live in specific realities and merge them together or compartmentalize them. But yeah, last night was an interesting reality, because I remember when I was doing the Facebook Lives from my computer, and my computer wasn't so sensitive to the skipping and all that stuff. And so I remember seeing like little orbs, sometimes the orb would go this way, that way, and it was very sensitive in picking up that type of energy. My phone doesn't really pick up that type of energy for some reason, which is fine because I don't want too many distractions. But last night it was such a trip because I have been feeling the heat in my face. I mean, that's when I feel the heat in my face, people think, "Oh no, you have menopause, Julian." No. The heat flash in my face is the fact that I've come in contact with some kind of energy that is trying to get through my first lines of defense. And that's what the salt boundaries are when people go into houses with ghosts, right? They use salt to trap the ghosts in. Well, the electrolytes in my body and my mucus have developed a boundary to keep out really aggressive types of entities. Yeah, Audrey. And so it was just like, okay. And so I felt the heat in my face, and I told you that last night. I felt the heat in my face, and then hey, Tiffany. And then I just kept going on. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because that's what I've been feeling the last couple of days, is the heat in my face, and then it would disappear. Then I'd blow my nose, later on, either in the middle of the night or in the morning. Well, the heat in my face, and then sugar, just for some reason last night, and you'll see on the video, if you watch last night's video, you'll see what I'm talking about. She jumps off the bed and she runs around and does all the whole, putting her face in the carpet and rolling around and stuff. And then she started coughing. Okay. So then fine. But before that, I saw through the corner of my eye, I saw like an orb. And it wasn't like an orb like, oh, it's floating. It was like how you see like your eyes. Sometimes when you look in the sunlight, you can kind of see the little filaments that are just like part of your vision. Like you can see the little things, little squiggly lines. Sometimes I see it, when I look in the sun or look around the sun. No, this was something at the corner of my eye, almost as if it was like a stink bug. But there was no stink bug. There was no fly in my room. Okay. But it was like a little dark bug, but there was no bug in my room. I was looking for it. Usually they go fast, and whatever stink bugs will go fast, but then you see them either crawling on the wall or they're flying around the light because they're attracted to the light. But there was no stink bug in my room. Okay, there was no fly in my room. There was nothing in my room except for myself and my dog Sugar. But it was the corner of my eye that I caught something that was just, and I expressed like, oh, that was weird. I mean, that was a very organic, if you want to call it that. It was a very organic reaction to something going on in the environment. And and this morning I had kind of like my own little exorcism. Okay, I had to release a bunch of stuff. Like, seriously, release a bunch of stuff. And it was pretty crazy. And I'm like, damn, I don't have that much crap in me. Holy crap. Literally, holy crap. And so you have to think about the cytokine storms and then what the allegory in the horror movies, like around the Mummy and then Dracula and the school of spirits that are broken down into bats or flies or bugs or worms, and people are like, ew, and you get a reaction from watching some of these horror movies because it really is depicting what people are actually inhaling when they are out there with friends, family, whatever, or when you go outside and you're not like in the public, but you live in a community. And even if you're out in the country, you don't think the weather isn't bringing the storm to you? Any storm that comes through is weather from different parts of the world that are bringing those little cytokine storms to you. That's why weather can be that's why people feel like they get their arthritis from the weather. Like, so the barometer is dropping. No, it's also the microbes that are being carried into the weather. And that's how you have global pandemics, because the smoke from burning bodies or pandemics from one side of the country, it could be carried through the Silk Road or through the planes, trains, and automobiles. But the weather, the jet stream, the storms, all the troposphere, everything traveling through the different, highways and byways, and whether it's through the Facebook or through the internet and the information superhighway, or the jet stream, the climate superhighway, or in the water. There's so many ways in which you will be exposed to the cytokine storm. And that's what I said last night when I talked about cytokines. They're not necessarily bad, and they're not always great, but you're not going to know the difference between the two, because you're going to feel energy. And most people will characterize cytokine storms as something to inhibit, to suppress. And that is not what you do with any cytokine storm. You don't suppress any cytokine storm, because there's things in there that will develop into an allergy because someone else took a therapy and now they're giving you that programmed DNA, and now you have to let it express and deal with it and release it. And then you're not going to have to deal with it anymore. And so when I release stuff after the heat, I'm telling you, that heat, it was pretty intense. Felt like it was a hot flash. But it didn't go past this lines of defense here. Though a couple days ago, I did feel a body flush. And I think I itched one time on my back, and there was a tiny little hive. Like, it was just this little remnant of a hive, because it wasn't a bug bite. Okay, it was a tiny hive, and that was it. And so every time you express the cytokine storm that people are trying to run away from, the gene expression is less and less. Though you might feel now at some point you'll just feel the heat, but you won't see the actual physical rashes. You might feel a little pain here and there. Like, I felt, it was interesting. When I saw my husband a couple days ago, when he came home, and I was walking the dog, or I don't know what I was doing, but I felt like right between my neck, like right down here, all the way down here, it was like so tight. And I couldn't really move my neck. It was kind of like I didn't do anything. It just came on. It just appeared, the neck pain, where I could barely move, where I couldn't even put my chin to my chest. The pulling was like, holy crap. I'm like, what the hell did I do? I didn't do anything. And that's the thing, is that when you take on someone's information and your body is relatively, like, it knows, it's pretty much homogenized when you think about it, okay? When you get to a point of having a homogenized body where you don't have so many predispositions that you're not sure what, who, what, where, and when, and when something comes into your world, and you didn't do anything crazy, like, it wasn't like, I slept wrong and I woke up that way. No, it happened just like during the day. My husband came home and it was at night, or in the early evening, and I couldn't barely put my chin to my chest, and then it disappeared. Okay? Then you realize you do live in a world full of different demons. And that's the world of the witches and the warlocks and the wizards, the curses and the gifts and the spells. It's all the programmed DNA that people get exposed to, and they don't know how to react to it. And so what's their first reaction when they're told that pain is bad? They're going to go take an antibiotic, take out the organ, go, find a way to starve it or exercise it out. Literally exercise, like torture themselves, like people who are runners and Olympians, they're exercising, right? Or you exorcise. And that's when someone goes to a priest, and then the priest casts out the demons. But no, you can cast out your own demons. You do it in a balanced way in the beginning, using salt and water and potentially jade juice. But there's other ways, and that's where I said about the mouth and the anus, you're blowing your nose, or you have to go and release the demons through your sphincter. And so, funny, Tiffany. And so, yeah, there's ways where you release those demons, because they become very numerous. And and so yeah, the exorcising, the exercising, it's crazy. And casting out the demons sounds so like biblical, so very evangelical. No. Their cytokines can be good because they keep things in a balanced way, and they are the friendlies. But there are cytokines that are attacking you and are weaponizing or defending your body against the food supply, which means, what does that mean? Because people have perceptions of food. Oh, the food is poison. No, it means that they're blocking nutrition. There are some cytokines that have been weaponized because they're used in oncology or antibiotics, like vitamin C drips for people who have cancer. When you go to like Mexico, when you go to all these holistic places to get your cancer therapies, they're using food as medicine. Yeah, now you have that type of microbe in your body that is going to defend itself against the food supply, which means you're not going to get the nutritional benefit. But tell that to someone who's going to Mexico to get all those therapies, the food is medicine therapies, the detoxes, all the little meditation bullshit. You can't tell them anything. Remember, this is coming from religions that are out of the eastern side of the world that practice all that yoga and meditation. Where do you think yoga comes from? Yoga comes from Eastern modalities that are all about taking in the spirits or taking in the demons, releasing the demons, manipulating the demons, and then you have these gurus. Where do you think the New Age world came from? The New Age movement came from the 1960s, playing with the hormones, the love hippie generation, and all the LSD and all the psychedelics and the ayahuasca, whatever. And now you have all these modalities that are a mixture. The Ayurvedics, the Vedics, using antibiotics against humans. And then you mix that with the pagans, you mix that with all the politics, religion, and science, and now you have basically everything is about religion. Everything is about messing with your hormones. Everything is about taking on demons and releasing demons in a balanced way, but not really, because you're still keeping those demons inside. You're still keeping those microbes that are blocking the nutrition. Now, when you are protected against your environment, every single time you go out in your environment, your body's building up B cells and T cells. Not everybody wants to feel mucus. So what do? They take Mucinex. So they keep that stuff in. Oh, they're drinking pineapple juice. So they don't cough. They're taking cough suppressants. They're taking diarrhea suppressants. They're taking, mucus suppressants. They're taking every medicine under the book to atrophy their lines of defense of release. And then guess what? They keep those demons inside. And then you see the demons out there attack. And this is straight up fucking allegory here, but it's not really, because you look at those that are trolls out there that go and hunt people through the internet. That's kind of like a demon-like behavior, because they're so full of the B cells and T cells they can't release, and they are suffering. And you feel fucking bad for them because you know they're suffering, and the only way they can express it is by attacking somebody else. And they don't know the difference between attacking a person versus attacking a new idea that they just can't seem to understand because of all the stuff that's telling them, oh, don't believe that. Because remember, the demons don't want to leave the body. So anything that is anything that is going to potentially cast the demons out of their host, those little demons, those little cytokines that want to stay in that host and block nutrition and use that host for whatever, is going to tell the host in its own way, watch out for this girl with the salt, because salt does cast out the demons. Salt does release the demons, but it also can keep them in too. So there's a whole balance with salt and water, and also playing with the cures market, because the cures keep the demons in place. That's why cures are deadly. That's why anything that is categorized as a cure must be FDA approved, or a food, or a drug. because of the processing and the distribution and all the pesticides that go along with that, which is not a big deal. Pesticides are not bad. It's just because they have to save the crops from all the little bugs and whatever. So people are keeping these little demons inside, and it's driving their reality, and it's caused them to resist new information. And when new information tries to come in, the demons resist it, and they have all of their attacking mechanisms. They don't defend because no one's attacking them. Instead of, when they hear information, they think it's an attack on their very lifestyle, but no one's attacking them. But they go out and attack people for new information. And so that's the difference of a demon, is that they're not defending themselves trying to stay alive. No, they're attacking anything that could potentially penetrate their world. It's like preemptive strike, but no one is coming into their world. No one is forcing them to do anything. But that's how demons deal with the world, is they attack first, so that way nobody develops a weapon against them as far as casting them out of the body, because they love their hosts. Look at everybody on YouTube who is out there talking about specific people, targeting specific people. That the person never knew that person existed until that person started talking about him. That's what I mean by the demons out there. The saviors, the protectors, the activists. They're still in the jelly juice world. I see them all the time, bitching at the politicians. They haven't figured it out yet. I know it. Maybe they know it too. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't acknowledge it. They won't. Because they know they do it. When you stop attacking someone who has no idea who the fuck you are, maybe you might have cast out the demons. That's the difference between a demon and a person who's just trying to defend themselves and live in this world. Demons attack people who don't know who they are. That's crazy. And so when you're developing all these different innovation out there as far as biotech, people are attacking things that they don't even know what it is. They can't even see it. And what they feel isn't necessarily the truth or even a fact. That it was from that shit demon over there. But hey, they got everybody on CNN and Fox, everyone all up in arms. Oh, we got to get this and got to get that and whatever. I got to go and preempt this. So they attack their bodies before they even know that they're exposed or have been exposed. And they have no fucking idea if it even exists. I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, it does, because it does jump from human to human, and I felt it. People are like, well, what started it was it's in the therapeutics. You can't fucking prove that. Those are the speculation stories that you can't put out there as if it was fact. Oh, but that's all acting in China. Not necessarily. And even if that was true, even if people, no, because for people to react, here's the thing, for people to react to something as aggressive as this, it has to originate somewhere in the population, because that's what a virus is. It's a body's defense system against something that's attacking it. And then as it moves to the population, it gets stronger and stronger. And at some point it might wane because it stopped at a certain place and it's not as aggressive. But what makes it resurge is all the therapeutics people do in reaction to the symptoms. Or they're preempting a protective measure in case they get exposed. That's what makes things even more aggressive and resurge when it kind of wanes and things are not as aggressive as they were. And so, so demons attack before they even know what they're attacking. They just attack the idea, the notion of what could be. Instead of defending yourself in your own home and defending with your body, and you're not out there attacking something that you can't fucking see. I couldn't see that little spirit until after it was, I don't know where it came from. Did it come out of me? I have no idea. But it was in my peripheral vision. And then my dog jumped off the bed and was coughing. Did it go into her and she had a defense system and she released that demon? My husband came home last night Did it go into him and now he has it? Who the fuck knows? I don't know where the hell it went to. But it left me, and maybe that was an actual sighting of how microbes or spirits of microbes jump from human to human. It's almost like you have to be so sensitive to your environment. You have to be actually in tune with your environment. Most people are not, because they're under the influence. They're so distracted, so busy doing whatever the hell, which I get it. We live in a very aggressive, competitive society. Dog eat dog world. But I'll say this, yeah, demons attack before they even know what the hell they're attacking. And you see it, you see those that talk about somebody who has no idea they exist. That's what demons do. They attack things that they have no idea exists, but someone told them it existed. And so, I never attacked anybody. I'm going to tell you, I never attacked anybody. All I was doing in the beginning of the Jeju's crowd was try to moderate my group the best way I can, because the demons were coming in and attacking me. Okay, it was a relatively peaceful group until the trolls came in. It was a very peaceful group. I had absolutely no. And who knows? Maybe I might have said stuff about the holistic people, but I was pretty much staying in my world, and if I did attack anyone as far as a holistic, well, that probably wasn't right of me, but I also was reacting. No, I'm not going to justify it. It wasn't right of me. If I attacked anyone in the holistic world way back when, specifically, if I said any specific names, and I might have, because I know how much of an activist I was on an aggressive level to get this point across and piss off a lot of people. But in my group, I wasn't really attacking people. I was just helping them get through whatever they were not understanding. It was when the YouTube influencers, who I wasn't even talking about, I could see if I was attacking someone in the holistic world and they wanted to respond. So if I was talking about, those two, I forget their names, Health Nut, I may have said stuff about Mercola and stuff like that. And they're used to it because they get it from mainstream media, right? But I could see if they wanted to respond to me because of whatever I might have said about the whole doctors dying and the GCMAF and all that autistic stuff, whatever. But they didn't respond, and that's fine. But no, I get attacked by people I had no idea existed. That's the thing, is when someone attacks you who you have no idea exists, you have no interaction with them, you haven't said anything about them, you don't even know who they are, and they attack you. That's demonology. That is demonology. And that's what you're up against, guys. It's things that are going to attack you that you have no idea existed, and you just have to defend yourself. And you won't see the attacks, so you have to have a very strong defense system. If you don't have a strong defense system and have the substance behind it where you're not taking away intelligence, then you will be commandeered by the fucking demons out there. This is so biblical, so allegorical, so spiritual. And these demons do come in microbials, and also the good guys too come in microbial ways. And so you won't know the difference between the two. So you're going to have to then figure out, bring in all the food, salt and water and sodium chloride and sugar and carbs and meat and milk and cheese and eggs and all the stuff, veggies and fruits and everything under the sun. And you can't starve yourself. You have to build up your body to be able to defend yourself. And you don't need to attack anyone. Even for people who believe in whatever, you don't need to attack the politicians. You don't need to attack someone who chooses to do a therapy. This has been bred into us ever since before we were even born. People are going to make their choices, but you have a heavy defense system that's not going to destroy you. Because people are boosting their immune systems out there, but they are declining in body, mind, and spirit. Because you see how heavy their defense system is, that it's actually cannibalizing them. But you can have a heavy, aggressive defense system that also is backed up by some muscle, which is your body, with some substance, with some intellect, and where you can sidestep without attacking somebody. But the demons don't know that. That's the thing. That's the Walking Dead. That's the Hunger Games. That's everything that you're ever watching on TV and the horror movies and all the fantasy movies. That's what the Greek mythology is, the Sumerian pantheon is. That's what all the different fairy tales are about. The battle between your body trying to live and things trying to attack it. Attack your way of life, attack. But here's the thing. It's not so much that you want to keep the way of life that you've known, like the last 100 years, everyone practicing antibiotics, the same forever. No, there's got to be some kind of evolution, adaptation. There's got to be some kind of advancement in just the way people relate to their world, where it's not such a consumerist, greedy, dog eat dog, where, okay, you want to give people free will. And so that's when I posted about my utopian dream is to have we have biodomes out there, 2 biodomes, one for the indefinite life people, the other one for those that want to be cured and live to excess and then pass away. But those 2 worlds cannot intertwine, because the people who are strong, like the ones who are living indefinite life and they're eating a bunch of food and they are strengthening themselves, well, I guess here's the thing, how will they stay strong? How do you stay strong when you don't have conflict? Ooh, fuck. Well, that world won't work, because when they have everything given to them in the indefinite life, so you have everybody here that's on indefinite life, there's no one using antibiotics. When you have nobody challenging you, when you don't have any kind of friction or conflict on some level, people get complacent, they get lazy, they're like, well, what? They will live to excess. It's the conflict, it's the friction, it's the energy that gives people intellect, energy, and strength. Wow. And so you're going to have the battle of good and evil. Because if I didn't have, now this is wow. Okay, this is so crazy wow. If I didn't have the trolls, like Jeff Holiday, I don't want to call him a troll, he's just whatever. If I didn't have Dr. Phil, if I didn't have Jeff Holiday, Daryl Staples, bless their heart. If I didn't have any other trolls out there from the moderator group, I would have still be doing the same thing I was doing. We wouldn't understand to this level. Do you know what got me to this point? It was the conflict from the trolls. Because anyone can agree with you. That's great. I mean, agreement is great. I love people who support me. I cherish them. But I also, just the last couple days, Daryl Staples contributed to my world. Though he didn't know it. It wasn't his intention. Of course not. But me using that energy and using that conflict and using that, where you're like, ugh, I want you to get it, dude. I want you to live, but you're just thinking I'm the demon and you're calling me all these names and acting like a total trash mouth and whatever. But I understand where you're coming from. That's your perception of me. But that energy was what really got me thinking and brought the shit together. The conflict brought shit together. And that's what therapists do. Now I understand the therapies out there, when they're purposely creating conflict for a reason, there's a specific outcome that must be had. If you don't create conflict, how do you then control the outcome on some level, right? You can't always control the outcome. But a certain amount of conflict is what strengthens people. This is why the Georgia Guidestones also exist. This is why the Hunger Games also exist. This is why there's so many movies about wars. And you know what? And that's so crazy. Because I'm telling you, I've been going back and forth with this. I'm like, oh God, in order to get innovation, you got to have evolution, wars, and this. And I'm like, no, but everything is so peaceful. People have no drive to succeed because there's nothing to succeed. They have no reason to live. They're just sitting there doing what? Playing the harp? Playing the piano? And so too much conflict can destroy someone. That's the whole MK Ultra. You have too much conflict on someone, people don't survive the programming. Not enough conflict, you have kids that are just living to excess. You see what happens with the Kennedys, JFK Jr., he's living to excess. He died at a young age. The Chappaquiddick with Ed Kennedy, and he got away with stuff, and I mean, and then you have these trust fund kids out there. I used to be a nanny for trust fund kids. Okay? They're doing okay. They're doing fine. They're figuring it out for themselves, but they're going to live like their parents. They're going to live to excess, do everything that their parents did, in their own way, and be gone. And so if you're not dealing with some kind of conflict, and that's the whole thing with the JJs too, it's conflict. And you can survive it if you understand why you need to deal with the conflict. But if you don't have conflict, then you'll just pass away. You won't be anything but a blob. So the conflict is what makes you stronger. The conflict is what makes you so smart. That is the most integral thing that you got to realize, is that fighting to stay alive in this world is going to cause a lot of conflict. But that conflict will make you stronger. If shit was easy all the time, you would have no reason to do anything except be programmed by someone else and then be disposed of when there is nothing left of you. That's what goes on when people want to live the easy way, You're welcome, Tiffany. And so my mom was correct. But I wish she would have, here's the thing, I wish she would have told me why she did what she did, or why she was doing what she was doing. Why there was so much conflict. It was so much conflict. Not everybody survives it. Some people turn to drugs. Some people commit suicide when they are dealt with so much conflict, like bullies and whatever, or abuse, or you name it. People deal with shit all the time that turns into then catastrophes, atrocities. But conflict, a certain amount of conflict will sharpen your brain. A certain amount of conflict will strengthen your resolve to grit your teeth through the most painful part of releasing those little demons inside of you that are driving your reality, that's making you fight with your husband, your wife, with everybody around you. When you release those little demons that are causing all of your issues, then you release the things that are causing so much conflict. But you still need to have a world around you that's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you engaged, but not to such an extreme where you then attack people, but not so disengaged where you have no motivation to do anything worthwhile. And that's the balance between peace and war. Between peace and war, and peace is a balance. Good and evil is a balance. But again, we are on the way end of the spectrum where people are attacking each other who don't even know who they are. They just don't like what they say. They don't like what they see, how they deal with other people. Well, whatever. I mean, I can't like or not like Trump, Biden, or any other the politicians. I have no idea what kind of part they're playing or what they're dealing with at the time that they do what they do. Do I have any room to like or hate any politician? I don't even fucking know them. How could I hate someone I don't even know? That's the demonology, is hating someone you don't even know. Hating someone because you see them, because you don't like their rules or their regulations, or you don't like, their lifestyle. You don't like their look. You don't like anything. You don't like that they don't believe in I think people are great. I attack institutions. People have their issues. It's the institutions that I attack. And that's where I learned the difference, is the demons attack the people. Intellectuals. If you want to be an intellectual, you attack the institution, the insta-fucking-tution. But you don't attack people. And those that don't understand that lack boundaries, and they end up like Johnny Depp and that chick, what's her name? Amanda Heard. They both were attacking each other. And now you're seeing the demons come out in court. Oh yeah, family. Okay? And so you don't attack people that you don't know. If you know them, then you're able to say stuff that could come off as an attack, but maybe you're defending yourself. Maybe you're trying to now put down boundaries. If you know someone, then you have every room to say whatever, but it must be done in a way that's diplomatic. And I do my best not to call people out personally. If I talk about something on Facebook, unless I've already been given permission because they responded to something that I could like type it out, but no, I'm going to put it out on Facebook and talk about it versus me typing out a response. But if someone has not professed they want to be called out because they didn't put it on my Facebook or have any kind of public interaction with me, then I will talk around their name and talk and speak to the situation, to the institution, to the specific experience. And only those that were part of it would know about it. Which means that, I'm giving you my side of the story and why I am doing what I'm doing, why I feel the way I feel. And only those that were part of that situation and know who I'm talking about will get it. And they're not going to say their names because it's none of their, And so that's how I do stuff. I don't attack people personally. I attack the situation, I attack the institution, and I attack the experience. And I need to put out my side of the experience. And that is a differentiation between simulation transitioning and all out demonology. And that is something that is that I must now, I have to understand this because I've experienced it and I've done it myself. I'm sure I may have attacked people personally. And so if I have, I'm completely sorry. I will just put it out there. If I didn't know you and I attacked you for whatever reason, I apologize. It was completely inappropriate of me. And so, and now it's time to turn over a new leaf as far as that, knowing that there is now a difference in the demonology versus trying to evolve. And we don't need to destroy people in order to evolve. And if you are resisting someone's new information, you don't need to attack them because that's demon behavior. Because you don't know them personally to have any kind of say about what they say, do, or what. Okay? So a little bit of conflict brings clarity. Anyone that avoids conflict all the time, what's driving you? Because that's why writers have writer's block, because they're not bringing some kind of energy and conflict into their world. Maybe their world is very homogenized, very insulated, very hermetically sealed on a spiritual and on a physical level, not literally physical, but on an experiential level. And so they don't have too many people at war with themselves or with each other in their world. So they're trying to write stuff about their world and they can't, the only thing that they can think, they're just like, how do you guys write? Well, that's why actors and actresses draw from the conflicts of their past to then get into character, the method acting. Okay, they have to draw from that, and that's why the whole MK Ultra and the conflict creating situations get the best out of people. But if you're always in conflict, then you're not evolving or deriving any benefit because you're always in conflict. So you got to have pieces or times, or what is it? You got to have some equilibrium in between conflicts. And so that's what's going on in our society. We're in an innovation, a conflict right now. You're seeing it. We're in conflict. This is where the innovation is going to come out. You either die from the conflict and succumb to it and also be a demon and attack people, or you survive it and you strategize your way in surviving this. You be like a Katniss, like again in the Hunger Games. You represent your district so well, and that doesn't mean on the backs of somebody else. It doesn't mean that you sacrifice someone so you can stay ahead. It doesn't mean you blame someone for your situation, because you ultimately have put yourself wherever you are. And so this is not only survival of the fittest, but this is the Hunger Games. We're in it right now as we speak. And let the best man win. but don't sacrifice someone so you can get ahead. That's what demons do. That's all part of the human sacrifice. And you've seen it in movies, you've seen it in the media, you've seen it all everywhere. Some people can only sacrifice other people to get ahead, but they don't last them too long themselves. When you're blood sucking on the people that don't even know you or your friends and family. All right, have a good day. Bye.